Can I say as well, that starfish is so cute. Hello everybody, it's Dashabella and Finch, and welcome back to another video of Star Equestrian. So this week, we finally got a major update, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the kind of update that anyone was expecting. A lot of us in the community, and especially a lot of us long-standing players, we were kind of hoping that this update was going to be Bronco. I remember waking up this Tuesday, like the patch landed on Tuesday morning for me. I woke up, I opened up the game, and then I saw the update button. I was like, oh my gosh, is it finally Bronco? I updated my game, I logged in, you know, it wasn't Bronco. Okay, Bronco's still there. There's no quests or anything. So yeah, it wasn't Bronco. So what did we get in the latest update? Guys, we got new horses, and you're probably wondering like, okay, what are all these horses? Because there's a lot. It wasn't just one, it wasn't just two, we got a lot of new horses. So if we mosey on over to the market, to our catalog, we're going to look at the fantasy horses first, because we got 4 new fantasy horses. So we have 2 Clydesdales. Yes, you heard me right. 2 Clydesdales, a Mustang, and an Arabian. And I'm really excited for the Arabian in particular because I've already looked at this and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this thing is gorgeous. But let's start off from top to bottom. So firstly, as you can see here, we have the Spring Clydesdale, and look at this beautiful spring-themed Clydesdale. Like, it is beautiful. There are flowers. It's got the same like branch horns like the Forest Lord. It's got such a beautiful, luscious tail with flowers in it as well. It's got these wooden adornments around its legs too. Like, it is just this wonderful, like very earthy themed Clydesdale. What we're looking at right now though is the full mastery. Now, before we go into the lower level mastery, I also want you guys to look at the new masteries. Masteries were reworked for fantasy horses. So the Pegasi and fantasies only. Regular 5 stars and regular 4 stars, they don't count here. So masteries have been cut down from 10 to 5. So now if you want to get the full bonuses for a fantasy horse, you only need 5 copies. And sometimes if you're lucky, you get like 1 or 2 bonuses for a level. So in the case here, as you can see for the Spring Clydesdale, it's got all of these bonuses and they're all split into 5 different levels. So if you get a Clydesdale for the first time, this is what you're actually going to be getting. So you'll be getting the base horse, no animations, no horns. It still has that very long tail. It's also lost the wooden decorations around its legs. So this is what you're going to be getting if you get this Clydesdale for the first time. And then if you want to get the horns, the full horns are actually part of the level 4 mastery. So the horns, if you like those, level 4 mastery, there is this thing called Amber Sprigs. Now, it's mastery 2. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's the things around the ankles or if it's the same like the Forest Lord and it has like tiny little horn animation, like just tiny little horns. And we can't check this. Like, there's no way to check what this is until you actually get the horse for the first time. So fingers crossed I'm going to be able to get this. But yeah, Mastery 2, you have these little Amber Sprigs. The big horns are at Mastery 4, and then at Mastery 5, okay, I'm not sure if you guys are paying attention, but do you see how there are just leaves falling all around the Clydesdale? So this is, I believe, a special effect for the horse. You know how the mushrooms grew around the hooves of the Forest Lord? So I think for this Clydesdale, it has this leafy animation where the leaves just, you know, fall around the horse. If you are lucky and you get 5 copies of this Clydesdale. Like, super pretty, super cool. I do like the look of this Clydesdale. But we do need to look at the other abilities as well. So this horse seems to be a bit of a stamina specialist, because if you look at the first ability, you have stamina recovery. If you look at the third ability, we have a stacking stamina usage ability. So I believe this is essentially like if you gallop, sprint, and dash, you actually reduce the amount of stamina that you use. So super efficient with its stamina. And then it has another bonus at level 4 mastery. You get extra stamina experience when you feed it stamina items. So this horse in particular is just literally made of stamina. It should never, ever, ever run out of stamina. And if we look at the max stats as well in the top left-hand corner, unfortunately, this horse is not speedy at all. It's actually got most of its ability points in stamina, jump, and agility. So just looking at this already, this horse is clearly a show jumper. Like this horse is actually just made for show jumping, because in show jumping, you don't normally regenerate stamina when you jump over the jumps, which is why horses like Pegasi, and even to some degree, any horse that has some kind of like stamina ability is really good at show jumping, because you just don't get your stamina back. So Clydesdale, super, super cute. You're probably wondering how you get this as well. So this Clydesdale is actually the new reward for racing. So if you haven't gotten into racing now, and you didn't get the Forest Lord, unfortunately, it has been cycled out. So the Spring Clydesdale is now the reward for races. Now, here's the thing. I think I've heard a lot of people just sort of talk about this in particular. I know some people were so unhappy that they couldn't get the Forest Lord to begin with, because that horse had been around for a while. And I know because races were bugged, people kind of stopped trying to, you know, play on the leaderboard. And now that it's been cycled out, I know some people are super upset. Please don't fret, okay? I actually think this is what the speculation is. What's going to end up happening is that horses will cycle in and out for rewards. So for this week, we have the Clydesdale, but then next week, the reward should be the Forest Lord. Now, we won't know for sure until next week's rewards, so keep an eye out for racing rewards next week to see if it is the Clyde or if it is going to be that Forest Lord. Because if there's a rotation, then at least you guys know, like, okay, if you're looking for a particular horse, you know, like, what weeks you're going to have to try to aim for top 100. Now, here's the thing, okay? Do I think this horse is actually worth getting? Like, if you really, really, really want this horse, like, is it really worth getting? And I don't know. I'm looking at this and there are other horses that kind of do what this horse does better. Like, if you don't have a good horse already, then sure. But like, if you have the Forest Lord, if you have a Pegasi, if you have even the Vulcans, like, there are a lot of horses that kind of do what the Clydesdale does, but better. So like, again, it's hard for me to truly say because I don't have a Clydesdale that's maxed out, so I could be wrong. But if you're super into show jumping, then sure, I actually think this is going to be a really good horse for you. So here we have the Cosmic Mustang, and I have to say, I think out of all the horses that were released, this one is probably like the most ethereal looking horse. It is like so magical, so fantastical, super, super pretty. Now here's the thing, it might look maybe a tiny bit underwhelming compared to the new fantasy drafts, because the design for this is pretty simple. It's mostly just a bit of a change to the mane, a change to the look of the tail, and a lot of the emphasis is really on the animated textures for the body. But personally, I really like how this Mustang looks. It's gorgeous. We are looking at the max mastery though, so apparently if I click between these, I'm not seeing a difference. I don't know if this is like a bug or if this is actually what it is, but let's actually have a look at this horse together. So looking at the abilities alone, it actually looks like this Mustang does not have any cosmetics. So it doesn't have horns, it doesn't have any things you can add to the horse, but it has a special mastery at mastery level 3, where we unlock a thing called a light speed trail. Now, I think some people are going to be confused, like, okay, hang on, what is this? This light speed trail, if my guess is correct, it is a special effect that the horse will leave behind as it moves. So think of it as like, I don't know, kind of like a comet, I suppose. Like, you know how comets move, they have that little trail behind them. I feel like that's what's going to happen with this Mustang if you're able to get that level 3 mastery. The rest of the masteries this horse has, like, it's actually all competition stuff. So mastery level 1, we have time warp. You gain 50% extra time when completing jumps in time trial events. So this makes some of those events much easier. You have a cross-country competitor ability where you get 30% bonus experience from cross-country events. This horse is a quick learner as well, especially with the acceleration stat. It uses less stamina as well during cross-country. And then its final ability, if you can get 5 copies, I don't know how anyone will, but if you get 5 copies, you'll always earn the max time possible when doing jumps in time trial events. I'm not sure how I feel about this horse to begin with. It has a really interesting distribution of stats. Like, all of its stats, except acceleration, is 75. It is actually a very balanced horse. And having high acceleration, I'm actually kind of a fan of this because you're really going to be able to play with just shifting gaits and not really worrying so much about how quickly you're going to be speeding up. So Cosmic Mustang. This one, I can't really say if this is going to be a good horse or not because I've never ridden a horse with this kind of ability before. Like, this is new to me. I've never ridden a horse like this, and I think this might be the first of its kind as well. But personally, I would like to just collect this horse at least once. I just think it's gorgeous. It is such a flashy horse. Like, if you are super into just glittery, bright, shiny things, if you're basically like me and you're a bird, like, yeah, I think you're just gonna like owning this for the sake of it just being a incredibly shiny horse. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to be when it comes to competitions. Maybe the fact that it's so well-rounded, like if you get this and it's your first fantasy, you're probably going to be super happy because this thing is just going to be good at everything. But mostly cross-country, it seems, especially with the bonuses it seems to have with masteries. Oh, and before we move on, so this horse, you can only get it in the fantasy mystical stable. So you cannot get this horse for free at all. You will have to use your gems to try and pull for this. So if you do want to try and get this, good luck. It is going to be so difficult, not only just to get a fantasy horse, but to get this one. Next up, we have the wonderful Autumn Clydesdale. So this is the second fantasy draft horse that launched with the latest update, and it has a much more different vibe compared to the green Clydesdale. So obviously this is themed as like an autumn themed draft horse, and again, just like the previous one, I really like the way that this one looks. The main difference though is quite literally the mane. It has a beautiful long mane, like a long mane of these very orangey yellow autumn leaves. It's got those horns as well. I love the color scheme for this Clydesdale. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, it's got some beautiful rich dark reds. It's got the bright orange, but whoever did the texturing for this, I love that they added this blue hue as well to all the wooden accents. Like, I feel like it's just so nice to be able to have that mix of warm and cool together. It is just so nice to look at. We are also looking at the full mastery. So if you get this Clydesdale for the first time, it is going to look like this. No horns, no falling leaves, and no accents on the legs as well. So if we look at the ability for the Clydesdale, it's actually the exact same as the green Clydesdale. So 60 speed, 50 acceleration, most of its stats are allocated to jump, stamina, and agility. So obviously this is, again, another show jumping horse. So if you are able to get into races, you might be able to get this horse instead, because this is a club reward horse. This is not a race reward. This is a club reward horse. Get into a top 100 club and then you will have a chance of being able to get this. So yeah, if you can't get the green one, like, you can absolutely get the red one. Just looking at the abilities as well for this one, I feel like it is the same. Am I mad about this? I don't think so, but I do think it might be. Okay, I might be a little disappointed because these two horses are almost too similar, but they're also free horses. Like, you can get them if you commit to races, you can also get them if you do club rewards, but it would have been nice to just make these horses like different. But then I guess it's also fair for people that aren't able to do races, because like, if we did the comparison, which one would be better? Would this one be better? Okay, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a cute horse though. I'm not gonna lie, super cute horse. Oh, and also just like the green one, you know how we had like the little falling leaf animation? There is also one for this amber version, but it seems to be a little bit different. So the leaves are just sort of coming out of the horns. It's not falling around the horse like the green one. So yeah, big win for draft horse lovers. I'm actually really happy for you guys because you have more options for fantasy draft horses. Oh, and also, if you haven't noticed by now, the model for the Clydesdales and the Shires have been updated because we got these new fantasy drafts. So, like, you can kind of tell. It's a bit hard to tell completely unless we do a complete side by side. But what I did to actually have a look is if you look at the portraits, I'll try and zoom in for you guys. If we do a comparison of just the image of the Autumn Clydesdale and the Aratiri Clyde, like you can definitely see where the changes have been made on this horse. So the body is rounder, the face has been made smaller, which was actually quite surprising. I don't know if I'm a big fan of this because like I've looked at my draft horses now and some of them definitely look a little weird. I kind of liked the bigger heads, but yeah, they made the head smaller and just really rounded everything out, but they didn't change the legs. And I was kind of hoping that they would update the feathering on the legs because it looks like it still looks very like blocky. It doesn't have any kind of movement. I was kind of hoping that they would make some movement happen in the feathering so that when the horse moves, you can see the individual feathers, like, you know, some kind of animation. I might be too picky. I might be being too picky, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was just kind of hoping with the update we would see a lot more like fluff animations with the draft horses. This is my favorite one, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This is my absolute favorite out of all the new fantasies, the Atlantean Arabian. This Arabian is just, it's so pretty. It is just so ridiculously pretty. I'm gonna remove myself because I just want to stare at this horse in awe. It is a underwater themed Arabian, and this is so funny too because I was talking about underwater content in our like tour video of the snowy area, but like this horse is just so pretty. It's got scales. It definitely looks like it belongs in the ocean. Can I say as well that starfish is so cute. Like, oh my gosh, I love that starfish so much. It's so shiny as well. Like they really did a good job making this horse look like it came out of the ocean. And also just the sparkly like stars or dots or whatever it is. Oh, it is just, it makes me think this horse must live in the very, very deep parts of the ocean. You know, where there's like the anglerfish and they have the lights on their heads. That's the kind of vibe I get with this. Now, the only thing, okay, I'm not a super big fan of is the texturing for the mane and tail. So obviously they definitely had some inspiration from, you know, like the leafy sea dragons, but it's like super low res, and I'm not sure if this is something that's going to be updated later or if, you know, there was some kind of graphical glitch going on. So yeah, I kind of hope this gets some kind of TLC in the future because the body looks great. But yeah, the mane and tail just looks a little sad. Now, keep in mind, we are also looking at the level 5 mastery version of this Arabian. So if you get this for the first time, it's going to have a much smaller mane and tail. They're just as more or less the same when you look at the large one and the small one. It's just that obviously there's a lot less for the small one. I still think it looks cute. Like, I like this horse. It's just so adorable. And also, the thing I'm super excited about with this Arabian is that this horse is absolutely going to be a major player if you enjoy races because it's got loads of speed, loads of stamina, it's got some good acceleration, agility is fine, like jump is its weakest stat, but I actually really want this horse because I feel like I just want to take it to races. One thing I also want to mention before we talk about masteries, I'm kind of wondering, does this horse come in any other colors? Because I know in the past, we were able to look at the different colors that the Aratiri, oh sorry, not Aratiri. We were able to look at all the different colors that ASO Friesians came in, but now we can't do that. So most people, if they play the game and they see the ASO and they get a different one, they're like, excuse me, what the heck? So I'm kind of wondering, I'm just looking at this Arabian, like, does this Arabian come in different colors? Because if it does, I will scream, because I love underwater stuff. I love fish, I love aquatic places, coral reefs. Like, I am a huge sucker for underwater games. So if this horse could come in different colors like fish, like, oh my gosh, I think I'm actually going to die. But anyways, let's have a look at the abilities for this Arabian too, because it's not just the look. This horse is aquatic themed. So firstly, its first mastery is the rejuvenating dash. So, you know, as an Arabian, it's really good with stamina consumption. So this is something that's going to help with cross country, extra experience, extra stamina. Again, very characteristic of those Arabians. At level 3 mastery, now this one's a pretty interesting one. At level 3 mastery, we get an ability called Swift Swimmer, where if we're swimming, you actually regain stamina. So if I'm not mistaken, and I remember correctly, if you ride your horse into water, its stamina regeneration drops. Like, it either drops or it stops. So to see that you're going to have a horse that will be able to swim, it makes me think, like, is there going to be content where horses could possibly swim to do it? Like, I'm getting excited. I'm not kidding. I'm actually getting a little bit giddy, because if we get underwater content, I will die. I will die. I'll go to heaven. I'll come back as well, because I also want to play the content. But, like, I'm kind of excited about this. Level 3 mastery is where you get the swift tail and swift mane. So I'm assuming this is when you get the large mane and tail, right? Because we start with the small one, and then level 3 mastery, you get this. But at the same time, okay, swift tail, swift mane, but at the same time, evolved tail and evolved mane. So, hold on. Sorry, I'm confusing myself now. Hang on. If this is what we're looking at right now, if this is the evolved mane and tail, what's this? Like, what's the swift mane and swift tail? Okay, I'm actually confused. I wish we could look at this stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Foxy, please update your preview. We kind of want to look at the horses and, you know, just let me see the horses, please. Oh my gosh. Anyways, our horses can swim faster if you have mastery 5. Like, this horse, like, full on. They're really trying to push level 5 mastery with this horse, because they have everything up here. Like, there's even an aquatic fin. Oh, actually, we can look at the aquatic fin. For some reason, we're gonna go back. If you look at the profile of this Arabian, there is actually a little fin on its face. But for some reason we cannot see it. Oh wait, we can actually see the other bonuses too on the picture. In the picture, this is probably what the fins are. So we have the mane, we have the tail, we have fins on its cheek, and we have fins on its legs. Okay, that is probably what we're supposed to be looking at. It's just the preview, again, just doesn't like sharing any of this information. If I ever get this Arabian, which if I do, I will die. But if I get this Arabian, I will show this Arabian for you guys. But yeah, I really, really want this. Speaking of it as this as well, like this horse, this is a mystical stable horse. So you will have to use gems to try and get this. So if you do want to try and pull for this, good luck. Your luck is very, very tiny, very, very slim. But honestly, if you get this, I'll be so happy for you guys. And I'll be so jealous as well, because I really, really want one of these horses. Okay, that's all the fantasy horses out of the way. I'm gonna try and do this a little bit faster, because we are looking at coats now. So moving on to the 5 stars, we got a whole bunch of coats for Friesians. Now I want to repeat after me. Okay, it's only for Friesians. We don't get any more draft horses here for 5 stars. It is just the Friesians. It's not even Friesian Sports. It is actually just the Friesian model. See? No new horses for Friesian Sports? Okay. So let's have a look at these goats. Starting off with the Tobiano Friesian. And if you saw the trailer, the updated trailer for Star Equestrian, I'm pretty sure you might remember this particular Friesian coat as well. Super pretty. I really love the stark color difference between this gray, or it could be black actually. Actually, I think it's black and white. Okay, yeah, I'm colorblind. Please ignore that. But yeah, super, super pretty. Very stark black and white. I love the gradient of that black and white on the mane and tail as well. I kind of want to see what this looks like with the long mane and tail, because this is the special mane and tail style, I suppose, for this particular Friesian. Super, super pretty. And also, one thing I want to mention is that because these coats are on the Friesian model and not the Friesian Sport, they have the fluffy legs, like full on fluffy, fluffy legs. I love the fluffy legs on my Pegasi, so to know that I could potentially get this horse with fluffy legs, heck yeah, definitely want one. This coat as well, you have to get this from the Majestic stable, so good luck if you are going to try and go for this coat. Also keep in mind that all the masteries are going to be exactly the same as the other Friesians, so if you already like the masteries of the Friesians, then yeah, you might actually really enjoy this. Next up we have the Spotted Dun Overo Friesian. Okay, so I don't know if this is a typo, okay? I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that's probably thinking this. So this is definitely not Overo. Like, I'm looking at this does not look anything like Overo. This is probably more along the lines of like some kind of, you know, peacock snowcap kind of thing happening here. Actually really don't know, but this is supposed to be like our peacock Friesian. Now, firstly, I will say I really like how this horse looks in general. It's got a beautiful white face. I love the dark chestnut mane and tail. It's got like, it's kind of rony, like it's really interesting. The spots are cute. I kind of wish there were, you know, I think there should have been some more spots, but you know, what the heck, what am I to say anything? The white snow cap, I suppose, like on its back, it's fine. The legs are fine. But one thing I am going to criticize, not just the name, we're going to have to zoom in here, because if you guys haven't noticed, like there are these very strange, like scratchy pattern on the coat. I don't know if this is a mistake or what, but it just looks so strange. Like, what is this texture? Like, it just looks so weird overall. I like the horse, but yeah, someone has to address this. Like, just take off the roan, leave the color, add some more spots. I think even like leave off the snow cap, and I actually think I would really love this. But to be fair, like, do you guys remember when I used to rate horses? I would still rate this a 4-star. Like, I would still rate this as a 4-star. I would be happy if I got it. But obviously, like, I am nitpicking some of these smaller details because I'm just like genuinely confused. Next, we have the Speckled Overo Friesian. So similar color to the peacock that we saw earlier on, but this one's got some speckling on it. It's got some white as well. It's also got the same, I think, mane style as the black and white that we saw earlier. And then it's got the same tail that Moonlight has. And I do like this tail. Like, this combo is actually super pretty. Color-wise, okay, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of how this color looks. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a horse this color. Like, it's kind of leaning a little bit too orange. But this could also be the preview, because I know sometimes the preview makes horses look like a different color than they actually are in game. So maybe I could see this horse actually just looking better in game. But like, interesting design. I honestly don't mind it. But I don't think I'd be like a huge fan of this horse until I see it in game. But yeah, very, very interesting design. I do like the little spots. Like, it just makes this horse kind of unique here. All right, this is probably the plainest out of all the Friesians. So we got a new Mohawk Friesian, and the only difference between this one and the other Mohawk is that this one has a giant heart-shaped star on its forehead. But yeah, that's basically it. Aside from that, it's literally exactly the same. So if you like having Friesians, like just pure black Friesians, then here's another one that you can collect. I don't think I'd be pretty happy if I got this though. Like, I'm definitely leaning more towards the colorful Friesians. But again, like, you guys, if you know me, I like colorful things, so it shouldn't come as a surprise. Next, we have the Dapple Overo Brown Friesian. Some of the names are really confusing, but I have to say, kind of like how these dapples look on this horse. It gives me like Finch vibes, like similar color. It's not the same, but definitely similar. It also really just looks like it's almost the same color as the peacock as well. So really interesting horse. I have to say they really know how to choose the right browns for these coats. Now, I do have like a tiny gripe, I suppose. Some of the dappling looks a little inconsistent. Like some of them look like snowflakes. I think I'm seeing an autumn leaf there somewhere. Like I think they could have made this a little bit more subtler, and then maybe for the dapples, like feathered the edges a little bit so it didn't look so harsh. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd be pretty happy if I got this. Like, again, like if I was going to rate this, it'd be a 3-star. Like, it's cool looking and all, but this is like not my vibe. And here we are. Look at this cutie, the Appaloosa Friesian. Gosh, I saw this in the trailer and I was like, oh my gosh, you are so adorable. Like, who are you? Yes, I really want this Friesian. Like, this Friesian is actually so stinking adorable. It is not funny. It's got blue eyes here. I'm pretty sure it can come with like random eye colors, but oh my gosh, you are just too cute. Like, oh, I really, really want this Friesian. But obviously RNG, right? So like, is there any way that I'll get this Friesian? Who knows? But yeah, oh gosh, this one's just so cute. Here's the last of all of the new Friesian coats. Now, this one is a bit of a controversial Friesian because at the moment, this horse, out of all the other new Friesians, I don't believe you can get this from normal means, which is spending gems on banners. This particular horse is actually exclusive to one of the new bundles available in the store. So firstly, this is the Dapple Overo White Friesian. It's more like dapple grey really because it does have the grey patterning. And also if you didn't notice as well guys, I believe this is the exact same coat pattern as Finch. It's just that it is this bluey grey version. Now I will admit this is a very pretty Friesian, but okay, if you want this Friesian, okay, if you really like this Friesian, it's gonna cost you $100. If you want this new Friesian, you have to buy this new $100 bundle. Like this is the only way I believe that you can get this particular Overo White Friesian. So if you really like this horse and you have the money, you have a guaranteed way of getting this horse. But if you would like my opinion on this horse is absolutely not worth $100. Like there is no way that you can convince me that firstly, what's included in the bundle? You get this horse, you get a 5-star saddle, you get agility supplements, tack tool kits, whole bunch of clothes, stuff for your ranch, and that's it. Like this is everything that you get in this $100 bundle. And if you ask me guys, no. Like this is just not worth it. So unless you are, okay, if you're stinking rich and you have money to spend and you kind of don't care, like go for it. But if you're somebody and you're just like, oh my gosh, look at this Friesian, I really like it, should I spend $100? I would outright just tell you no. Like you're better off, if you have $100 to spend guys, you are better off if you're not a VIP, spend $50 of that $100 to buy VIP. That is already a much better deal. And then if you really wanted to spend the rest of that extra $50, you can get these gems. Buy these gems and do a Pegasus pull instead. Like you can still get a 5-star horse. Sure, it might not end up being a Friesian that you want. It might not even be a Friesian at all. It might end up being a fantasy horse or a Clydesdale or a Shire. But like, I'm sorry, there is no way that anyone is going to be able to convince me otherwise that like a horse in Star Equestrian is worth $100. It was hard enough spending $300 to get Stormwing and Finch, okay? Like these guys, I don't even think these guys are worth $300 altogether. Like technically you could split them up and say they're up like $150 each, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I did that video for content, okay? I had that money and I was like, no one else has done a video. Should I do a video? And then I had you guys vote. Obviously you guys voted yes. So I did it for content. Like I just wanted to do it for fun. If I didn't do a YouTube video, I don't think I ever would have spent that money to begin with. So like, yeah, if you have the money, okay, and you really want to treat yourself, please do. But personally, this bundle was just overpriced. Okay guys, moving on, we are gonna have a look at all of these new Arabian coats, and we got a lot of coats as well, so I hope you guys are ready for this. So look at the first Arabian. We have a steel gray Arabian, and oh my gosh, I actually think this might be my newest favorite Arabian. Like, the color of this steel gray is gorgeous. It is so shiny. It looks great. I will nitpick the dapples. Okay, the dapples could be a little bit better, but oh my gosh, this tone for this Arabian, he looks like a performance horse. Okay, full on performance horse. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Love it. Next is the Overo Palomino Arabian. Very, very cute little Palomino here. Again, another horse that features a lot of dapples. It's got a lot of white on the body as well. Very high white stockings, white leg markings. Honestly, this reminds me very much of a lot of the SSO, like Palomino Pintabians. If you like the Pintabians in SSO, then you're probably going to like this as well. And it's kind of nice because this is available to just get in the mystical and like fantasy, like any of the pools where you can get the 4 stars, you can get all of these Arabians, okay? So just like how the new 5 stars are available in the gem pools, these Arabians, I forgot to mention with the first one, all these Arabians I'm about to show you, they are also going to be available for gem pools. So when you're pulling, you might get one of these new Arabians. But yeah, super, super adorbs. Really like the color for this Arabian. Next, we have the Overo Brown Arabian. So again, we are seeing this like very pinkish brown tone. Now, to be fair, I don't know why, I kind of like this Arabian. Like, I kind of like the color overall, like just the very, it's not blonde, it's not white, it's just this like very light peachy mane and tail color. Like, I'm really vibing with this, and it really matches with the overall tone of this Arabian. I actually really like this. I don't know about you guys. Like, again, dapples could be better, but yeah, just I really, really like the way that this Arabian looks. Say hello to the dapple seal Arabian, okay? This is a work of art, okay? But the horse does look a little sunburnt, like just a tiny bit, a little sunburnt on the face. Not quite sure why the nose is like that. Like, if they just left that dark brown, I think it would have been fine. But just like, look at this mahogany brown, like rich, just, oh, I don't know what to describe this brown, but like, this is just juicy. I think I don't know how to describe this Arabian. Is it juicy? It's kind of juicy. I don't know. Call me weird. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm actually really vibing with this Arabian because we haven't really had any dark bays come out for the Arabians. Like, they've all been really bright colors, or it's been black. But yeah, this is pretty new for me, or at least I haven't seen an Arabian that's looked like this. And yeah, I'm actually kind of a big fan of this, aside from like the nose, but maybe we can hide the nose with a bridle. Next, we have the Dapple Overo Grey Arabian, and this Arabian, I don't know why, it kind of reminds me of a horse from Red Dead, but I'm also thinking like, which horse am I thinking of? Because I also don't remember this color. Pretty interesting color. It's like more of this grayed out, I don't know if it's a chestnut or if it was a bay. I think it's a grayed out chestnut. But it's very ashy. If you like ashy toned Arabians, this is probably a horse that you might like. Also, one thing I'm gonna have to appreciate, I think Foxy have noted a lot of the people's like discontent with the old pink nose colors. So they are doing more of this like very, very light baby pink nose now. And I do think this looks a lot better already. So Foxy, thank you. No more horses eating jam. Thank you very much. Kind of like this horse actually. The more I look at it, it does look like a very, very pretty horse. I would not mind getting this Arabian. I think I wouldn't mind. Yeah, this one actually looks kind of cute. Here we have the Dapple Overo Brown Arabian. Now this one is definitely a lot warmer than the seal, like the seal version that we saw earlier. And I'm really liking these dapple, like the dapple work they've been adding to all of these Arabians. Now this one does look a little bit harsh with the dapple work. I think if they made this a little bit lighter, it would have been much nicer, like a little more subtle, because this is starting to look a little bit mosaic, especially on a lighter coat. But I do like the bay that they've used on this, like the brown that they've used for this bay. Really nice contrast with the black mane and tail. I love the 4 white leg markings, like they're kind of uniform as well. So if you're a bit of an OCD person and you have to have a horse with 4 white legs, you will like this. And I also just love this little like diamond shaped snip on this Arabian as well. Super, super cute. I would not mind getting this Arabian too. Okay, back to the Ashier Arabians. This is the dapple brown Arabian. So there's no like paint markings, no snow cap, no, no special stuff. It's just got dapples on it. This is nice. I think the tone is definitely like a personalized tone. I think if you're somebody that likes having a very light bay, you probably would like this. Although the nose should technically be, black, the ears should be black, the legs should be black as well. So is this supposed to be maybe a chestnut instead? If I put a chestnut mane and tail on this, will this actually look better? I actually think it would. Like, I don't know why it's black. This should not be black. This should actually be chestnut. Okay, yeah. I think we have a bit of an error horse here. This could be fixed. So I think this horse has potential. We just got to change the mane and tail color. I don't know. What do you guys think? This one is like a bit weird looking for me right now, considering I know it's like technically wrong. And just like the Friesians, we have a little leopard Arabian. And oh my god, this thing is so cute. Although shouldn't this be like a Pintabian then? Like, can you get Appaloosa Arabians? I don't think so, right? Like, this is just not a naturally occurring coat for Arabians. But then again, like, this game is called Star Equestrian, so I guess you could have like very outlandish coats that are not genetically correct. I think like for me, it would have just made more sense to, put this on the Pintabians instead, because like, yeah, okay, Pintabians have a lot of love. They've got all like the cool colors and patterns, but yeah, it's kind of weird just to see like a random Arabian with the Appaloosa coat. But regardless, like aside like the technical aspect, I suppose, of like genetics and whatnot, this is a stinking cute Arabian. Not a fan of like the mane and tail. I don't know why they'd have to I don't know why they like chucking all these like special manes and tails. I would have just preferred the regular one on this, honestly, but obviously like if I get this I can change it. So yeah, I wouldn't mind getting this, but I think the Friesian one for me is definitely more my vibe. But though that snip is adorable. Okay, this is the last Arabian, but I left this one last on purpose. So this is the speckled Overo brown dun Arabian. And what sets this Arabian apart from all the other Arabians, again, a reminder, all the Arabians we just saw, those have been added to the new, like, it's been added to all of our existing pools. So any pools where you can pull the old royal coats for Arabians, the 4 stars, you can get all of the new Arabians. Except this one. So this Arabian, if I am technically correct, this Arabian is exclusive to one of the new bundles, just like the $100 Frisian. So this Arabian is, if you want this one in particular, it's going to cost you $25. So I'm just going to go over to the bundles here. So this was the Frisian bundle. This is the Arabian bundle. So if you really like this Arabian, it's going to cost you $25, and you're not just getting the Arabian as well. You get a 4-star saddle, you get supplements, you get a whole bunch of clothes, just like the Friesian, and then you get like a whole bunch of like ranch stuff as well, which like, again, I don't know anyone that actually cares about the ranch stuff. The clothes might be okay, but okay, so here's the thing. It's $25 for this horse. Now here's the thing. It's a guaranteed Arabian. Okay, if you really want this Arabian, it's $25. If you didn't know the conversion rate for pulling just a regular, like, 4-star, if you get the non-special coats, so if you get, like, the randomized coats, it's essentially $10, okay? This is a $10 horse. If you want the special coats, it's going to cost you at least $20, okay? Because this is where all the coats are. It's going to cost you at least $20. And obviously it's random. So you don't even get to pick if it's an Arabian, if it's a Mustang, if it's, like a quarter horse, whatever. Okay. So if you really want that particular Arabian, I don't think the deal is horrible, but if you like literally don't care, then no. I would say if you want mastery, I would not buy this bundle. I would literally just pull the $10 pulls. I would just get the randomized Arabians. So unless you want this coat in particular, you know, okay, unlike this one where it's $100 and I'm going to tell you outright no, because this is definitely not worth it. This isn't as bad. Like this Arabian bundle is actually okay. But yeah, I wouldn't pull this otherwise. I would just, you know, I would just pull the banner and just, you know, use whatever. So those are all of the new coats. Now, before I want to end the video, I do want to sort of like talk about summons in general, because I think there is going to be some confusion on where these coats are. If you want a particular coat, is it going to be available? So firstly, with the Arabians, from what I understand, they will be available obviously in the mystical stable because they are here. I actually waited and some of the new Arabians sort of come through. I'm going to sit on this screen. But both the mystical and the majestic stable will let you pull for these new Arabians. Obviously it's RNG, okay? So like if you don't get it and you get one of the old coats, like unlucky, I guess. Like that's just how Star Equestrian is. Everything is just RNG. If you want the Arabians, you kind of just have to pull them here. Like there is nowhere else that you're going to be able to get the new 4-star Arabians. So it's up to you if you want the mystical stable or the majestic. Because obviously there are different, you know, there's different advantages to both. But if we talk about the Friesians, okay, the Friesians, the new coats, all of them minus the bundle are available in all of the banners, except obviously like for the unique horse stable, because that's only 4 stars. So mystical, majestic, and the wing stable feature all of the new Arabian coats. And sorry, not Arabians, but all the Frisian coats. And how I know this is because I actually sat here and I waited to see if the new Frisians popped up, and they did. It takes a while. I'm actually going to skip forward so you guys can see. All right, there we are. So as you can see, we have the new Frisians showing up in the wing stable. So if you're pulling for Pegasi, you're also going to have a chance at getting all of the new Frisians. But I don't think, I'm going to wait for this. Okay, it didn't pop up. So I was kind of wondering to see, like, does the bundle Frisian kind of pop in as well? It doesn't. So if you want to pull for the new Frisians, okay, here's probably like my thought process. If you're trying to pull just for the Frisians, you don't care about the fantasies. If you are VIP, I'd pull the wing stable because you're guaranteed a 5-star horse at least, okay? You won't have the risk of dropping down to 4 stars. You will get a 5-star. If you are not VIP, then you'd probably want to pull on the majestic stable, because that means that if you pull on this, okay, sure, you might downgrade, but you can't guarantee a 5-star anyway, so you want to have the biggest chance of getting all of the new Frisians, okay? So probably have to pull on the Frisian stable if you just want to collect one of the new Frisians. And if you scroll down as well, all the new Frisians are here too. So it is guaranteed, only if you proc this 10%, okay? Otherwise, even in this 20%, it could also still be a Frisian, okay? I just want to let you guys know. So essentially what is happening is you just have a slightly boosted chance, but it's not the best. If you want the best chance of getting a Frisian, wing stable. I'm actually not kidding. I actually think the wing stable is probably better value because you are guaranteed at least a 5-star. If you upgrade to fantasy, then like whoopee-doo, I suppose that's a bonus. And if you get a Pegasus, then like, yay, congrats, that's probably like the best thing. But yeah, like I actually think you'd probably just want to pull it on the wing stable. And the same thing with the fantasies. Basically, if you want one of the new fantasies, best banner to pull is, if you are free to play, mystical stable, because you get the extra chance of getting the, you get the 10% chance of getting the fantasy horse. And unfortunately, like the odds are so tiny. So if this is like your only way of getting a fantasy, good luck, because you could get any of these fantasies. Like it's just going to be random. So I'm praying for you guys. I hope you get what you want. But yeah, like if you're not a VIP, your luck is very small. If you are VIP, again, I'm just going to recommend the wing stable. And the reason being is that you have a 30% chance of getting a fantasy. Like you have the best odds of getting it here. And again, if you get a Pegasus, like yay. Pegasus are good, not because they fly, but they are statistically pretty good horses to own as well. So yeah, if you want the fantasies, pull here. If you want the Friesians, also pull here if you're a VIP. Otherwise, if you're free to play, you're gonna have to pick the corresponding banner for what you want. So yeah, good luck guys. I hope you get what you want because, like, again, this game is a gacha game. Everything comes down to RNG, and there are going to be a lot of cases that you're just not going to get what you want. So best of luck to you. I hope you do get a horse that you do fall in love with. And even if you pull something that you don't like, definitely ride that horse around for a bit. Like, sometimes I found myself growing attachments to horses that I originally thought were kind of ugly. So like, give it a shot. Pretty sure you can fall in love with them. And if you can, like, change their mane and tail. Like, sometimes even just changing things up yourself can actually make the horse look much better than it actually is. Like, sometimes the mane and tail just doesn't match, okay? It's up to you. There are some customizations, but yeah. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase. As always, with all of my Star Equestrian content, do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm still thinking about whether or not I should be doing a poll. Like, am I going to give you guys another challenge? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I want to pull on the Pegasus banner again, because honestly, I still have PTSD from the $300. I don't know. If there's enough likes on the video, like, sure, but we'll have to see. I don't know. Like, I'm torn. We'll see, guys. I don't know if I want to do it for content again. Yeah. If you're new to the channel, hi, my name is Dashabella. I'm a virtual equestrian VTuber, and I do post a lot of Star Equestrian and Rancher Rivershine videos on my channel, but I am trying to add more as well. So if you are a bit of a horsey nerd like me, then do consider subscribing to the channel so you can get future notifications for all of my future uploads. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!